Hey students, today we are going to discuss about infectious disease general epidemiology of the important definitions and concepts. These concepts help you to understand specific epidemiology of all the specific communicable diseases, be it malaria, be it TB, be it tetanus, or be it HIV/AIDS. First of all, the most important definition that we need to remember is infection. Infection is the entry and development or multiplication of an infectious agent in the body of man or animal. What do we understand by communicable disease? It is an illness due to a specific infectious agent or its toxic products capable of being directly or indirectly transmitted either from man to man or animal to animal or from environment to man or animal. Two most confusing definition of similar kind but they are fundamentally different with each other are contamination and infestation. What do I understand by contamination? Presence of an infectious agent on body surface also or in clothes, bedding, surgical instrument. What do we understand by infestation? Lodgement, development, and reproduction of an arthropods on surface of the body or in clothes of persons and animals. So basically, it's a different terminology from infection in which the organism is enter inside the body, but in contamination and infestation, it's not so. Now, three important definition of infectious disease: reservoir, source, and host. We need to remember any of the communicable disease is spread with uh, this communicable cycle. It starts with a reservoir or source, then there will be portal of exit, then there will be modes of transmission, then there will be portal of entry in host and agent, and then further transmission through reservoir. Basically, reservoir is the case or carrier of that particular disease. Okay, through portal of exit releases the organism, and through portal of entry it reaches to the host. Again, the agent inside the host would be a case of that particular disease, and further cycle goes on and on and on. So our aim should be break this cycle at exit level, at mode of transmission level, at entry side with the immunization at host side, or anti-malarial or antibacterial like anti-agent side. So this is how the basic fundamentals of how the disease is transmitted from one person to another and how we can prevent or control the infectious disease. Let us see the basic definition of reservoir, source, and host. Reservoir basically can be any person, animal, arthropod, plant, soil, or substance, or it may be combination of these, in which an infectious agent lives, multiplies, on which it depends primarily for survival, and where it reproduces itself in such a manner that it can transmit the disease to the susceptible host. What about the source? Again, it can be any person, animal, object, or substance from which infectious agent passes or is disseminated to the host. Many a time reservoir and source can be same. For example, in case of tetanus, soil is a reservoir as well as source. But in case of typhoid, reservoir is case or carrier of typhoid, but the source would be stool or urine. So source can be termed as a it is the immediate releaser of the agent. Okay. In reservoir and source, we need to remember that it can be living thing or it can be non-living thing. Okay. In case of host, it is always living thing. Any person, animal, bird, or arthropod that affords subsistence or lodgement to an infectious agent under natural condition. So, susceptible host is the host in which you don't have the facility of immunity. So that host can be the target for the infectious disease. Host can be of different type like primary host or definitive host, can be secondary host or intermediate host, can be transport host, can be obligate host. What do we understand by primary or definitive host? It is the host in which the parasite attains maturity or passes its sexual stages. For example, in case of malaria, mosquito is the primary or definitive host. What about the secondary or intermediate host? The parasite is in larval or asexual state only. It doesn't attain the maturity or it doesn't passes through the sexual stage. For example, male in malaria. What about the transport host? Transport host is a carrier in which the organism remains alive but doesn't undergo any kind of further development. For example, tuberculosis. Last one is obligate, the only host. For example, men in measles and typhoid. In measles and typhoid, only men is involved. So it is called obligate host. So by this definition, we ends our this video on definitions and concept on infectious disease epidemiology. Please subscribe to this channel for more videos in line. Step by step, we are going to discuss all the important definitions and concepts to start with. Thank you. Thank you very much.